Welcome back to Louisville Live this morning. Good having you with us. Every week we have Karl Truman here on Tuesday with the WBKI Louisville Live this morning legal line. And right now we want to open that up, taking your questions. Workers' comp, Social Security, disability. What about an accident? 502-276-2118. We're also taking emails live at WBKI.tv. Good having you with us.
Morning. Great to be back.
Hey, I want to ask you, before we get going here, Memorial Day holiday weekend. I know, but you go to your website, you tell people not to text. Don't text and drive. Get out there, have a first aid kit. But people going on the road, someone's going to be involved in an accident this holiday weekend. Tips for them. What do you like to tell them?
Well, of course, when you're getting ready to go for the holiday weekends, we always hear about checking your car, your tires, all the safety inspection, but also pull out that insurance policy before you head out on the road this weekend. I just met with another client just recently that was hit by someone that did not have any insurance, and the person that contacted me had waived their uninsured motorist coverage. So again, I had to tell him, sorry, nothing I can do. There's no insurance coverage. And I see that time and time again. Insurance agents don't tell them. But every client comes in, and when I ask them what coverage you have, the first thing that I hear is, oh, I have full coverage. I have full coverage. Well, unfortunately, that really doesn't tell me anything. The term full coverage, that's kind of like some sort of slang that I think insurance agents use to reassure people, but the phrase full coverage has absolutely no meaning in an insurance policy or in the legal context.
Well, Karl Truman is here with the WBKI Louisville Live this morning, legal line, 502-276-2118. Gerald, I believe, from Springfield, Kentucky, joins us. Good morning, Gerald.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is your question for Karl Truman?
I just have a question about an injury case.
Okay, go ahead.
I was burned inside of a regional jail while waiting to see if I was going to be served with an indictment, which I wasn't. And I was denied any kind of medical attention for a long time, for a number of hours. And I'm just kind of curious about it. I'm going to have a couple of nice stories out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, those are always tough situations for being incarcerated. Of course, the county or state does have an obligation to provide medical care. Usually, from what I've seen, it's like a nurse practitioner. They don't really hardly ever get to see a doctor. It gets really complicated because there's so many different government immunities on how you proceed. There could be civil rights violations even. So but that would have to be handled by a civil rights attorney for particularly if there's a pattern of conduct of not providing medical care. So those are complicated issues, especially in.
Gerald, if you feel like you need more information or you want to send an email, just go to the TrumanLawOffice.com, give them an email, and send one to Karl. They'll try to give you more information as needed because you may have more specific details which he can't answer right now. But we want to go to Carrollton, Kentucky right now. I believe Rob's calling the WBKI legal line. Good morning, Rob. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fantastic.
Good. You have a question for Karl?
Well, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to thank him. I hired him to handle my disability case. And from the time I got into his office in Jeffersonville, Indiana, from the time I left, his staff has got to be the most professional people and the friendliest people I've ever met in my life. And I just wanted to thank him and his staff.
Well, thank you, and thank you for letting us help you out with your situation. That is something that's very important to me, is try to create a good customer experience and customer service. So thanks for sharing that.
Okay, more. We appreciate you calling there. I believe we have another phone call calling the WBKI legal line. Is that Carly calling Louisville Live this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Are you with us? Carly? Hello, are you there, Carly?
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air. Go ahead. Karl Truman is here live. You're talking to him right now. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, before I get to that, I just want to say, where's Julie?
Oh, Julie's off today. Julie's under the weather. I think some of this heat has gotten to her. So she's at home trying to get some fluids in her and feeling better. So she'll be back tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I was driving by Mall St. Matthew.
Okay.
And I was driving in my BMW, and someone came up behind me and just rammed into the back.
Okay.
And she's trying not to pay for a rental car. Her insurance company, I don't even think she has insurance. I mean, how can I come after her?
But were you injured in the in the accident, or is it?
Yeah, some minor injuries.
Okay. I mean, well, if you plan on hiring an attorney or not, I mean, if you certainly the first thing is try to get your police report and contact her, find out who her insurance company is, and if you don't really have an injury and it's not something that you need an attorney with, then certainly need to contact their insurance company. Sometimes your own insurance agent will help you find out who that is, because they can help you look it up and find out who the insurance company is and try to get some numbers for you to call. So that's another resource to go at from that angle.
Hey, we appreciate your calls. We want to take more calls while we have time. 502-276-2118, the WBKI legal line. Workers' comp, Social Security, disability, or if you've been involved in an accident. We have Nancy from Louisville that sent us an email, Carl. We want to get this one out here because it talks about an accident, and you can always go to Carl's website or give him a call, 1-800-ACCIDENT. 24/7, and he'll be more than happy to help you out. But Nancy says, I slipped and fell at work this spring. It was after a hard rain, and everyone tracked water into our business. They didn't mop the floors or put up a caution sign. My back has been sore for 2 months. My employer made me take sick time and warned me if I took more time off for treatment, I would lose my job. This doesn't seem fair. Okay, Nancy, appreciate your email to the Louisville Live legal line.
Well, and that is frustrating that workers' comp law, and I have to explain this to people, workers' comp does not protect your job. So if you are hurt on the job, you do have a right to file a workers' compensation claim. They cannot retaliate against you. They can't fire you saying, well, if you, sue me or you make a claim, then I'm going to fire you. But workers' comp law itself does not protect your job. What could protect you, and you don't say how long you had worked there, but under the Family Medical Leave Act, you are entitled to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid medical leave for an injury or illness, either for your family member. The problem, one of the catches with that, is that you have to have worked there for 12 months, and a lot of people haven't met that yet. So, but they cannot make you take the sick days and say, well, you have to use sick days. So you are entitled to make, and every employer is supposed to have posted the contact name and number for their workers' compensation insurance carrier, so you should be able to contact them and make a claim or call the ombudsman office, whether it's in Frankfurt or Indianapolis, whichever state you're in, so they can sometimes help you, give you some tips too.
All right, we appreciate that email, Nancy. We have one more coming in. This was from Carl's comments last couple weeks here on Louisville Live this morning. Carl's with us every Tuesday, discussing a variety of legal issues and issues in other areas, including the big oil spill going on in Louisiana. I heard Mr. Truman talk about the oil spill. How do you even begin to take legal action when there are so many unknowns? Dave in Bedford, Indiana. Dave, thanks for that email there. That's a good question. How do you point the finger here, point the finger there, and say who's responsible when the oil's still gushing out and they don't know how they're going to clean it all up?
But that's exactly one of the reasons that they are initiating investigations right now, is because there are so many unknowns. And how do you find out those answers except through the legal process? Because BP is not going to volunteer anything. They just recently allowed us to even see the oil coming out, and they're really holding a lot of things close that they're not going to share. So unless you have the power of the court system to make them, have a judge make them disclose things, they're not going to tell us. So there's going to be continuously to be unknowns unless we make them disclose. And I think there's going to be a lot of stuff learned through this, whether it's civil litigation, that is going to disclose more than even we'll know through the government.
All right, Karl Truman is with us every Tuesday with the legal line, and he answers your emails, as you've just heard, and answers a lot of calls, too. We'll be taking some more calls next Tuesday. But, Karl, good having you with us, and
Great.
Have a safe holiday.